Oh, okay. Bill has a flag.
Good job, Bill.
There we
What's the
go.
flag? What'd they miss? Oh, yes.
Okay, this is the opening up the meeting of the January 31st, 2023 meeting of the Sewer Commission. It is 6:05. Excuse me. And I'd like to start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Bill, if you could hold that up. And Mike, you want to lead us off here?
Sure. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
Republic
which
for which it
stands
stands
one nation under God,
under God,
indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
for all.
Okay, thanks, Bill.
Good job, Bill.
All right, my name is John Reynolds. I'm chairman of the Sewer Commission. And I have a couple paragraphs I have to read here. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting of the Sewer Commission is being recorded and will be able to be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. The following information is also provided for members of the public that would like to participate in the meeting remotely. To participate remotely from a computer, please use the link to join the public meeting webinar found on the posted agenda, or from a telephone, dial the toll-free number 888-475-4499 and enter the webinar number 792-737-0356. If you have not registered with Zoom, you will be asked for your name and an email address. No participant ID is needed. Just press pound when asked. I'll do a roll call vote to confirm that all members and persons anticipated in the agenda are present and can be heard. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Brett Ramsden. Brett, you here?
Can't hear you.
I see you, Brett, but I'm not hearing you.
I'm not sure he's hearing us.
Yeah.
Brett, can you hear us?
No,
Can you give us a thumbs up if you can hear us?
Oh, okay.
Okay, we still can't hear you.
I know.
Okay, I guess the question I would have is, if we can't hear them, I'm going to assume that we officially don't have a quorum.
Here comes Dave.
Okay, Dave's here.
Can Brett call in using his phone?
I think that's
I-
what he's doing. I don't know. No. Oh,
Hey guys.
Hey, Dave.
Oh, hi, Dave.
Hey, how you doing? Sorry about
Dave,
that.
we're doing a roll call vote and we can see Brett, but we can't hear him. So I'm going to finish the roll call vote and maybe something will happen by the time I get to the end.
Okay.
Dave McDonald,
Here.
Mike Nault,
What'd you say? Here.
and Mike
guy.
Vegas will not be here, and an aye for myself. So we do have a quorum. Staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Bill Bernard,
Yeah.
Barb LaFave,
here.
Paula Bertram,
Here,
and Jane Ranley.
Here.
Okay. Okay. I guess Dave's here and can talk, and Mike's here and can talk, and I am, so we have a quorum. I hope you're able to join us by voice, Brett.
Brett, I think, went out and he said he
Okay.
can't get his mic to work. So we're gonna, maybe he'll try by phone again. I think
Okay.
he logged off again to try again. Okay.
Okay, public comment. Let's see. Do we have any public, Barbara? No.
No,
Any
No.
public comment from the commissioners or staff? No? Barb?
Bob, you were
Okay.
saying something?
oh, well, I'm an announcement, but I'm not a public comment, so I'm good.
Okay. Moving on to announcements. Any announcements from the commissioners or staff?
Staff, yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead, Barb.
We will be sending out our billing for Q3 tomorrow. So if you do not, for anyone watching, if you don't receive your invoice, please give the sewer office or the collector's office a call, and we'll be happy to get you a copy. So that's all. Just, and also check the website. We usually put on the website when the bills go out. So they should be being mailed on 2/1. And Paula, what's the due date for them? Off the top of your head, sorry. Oh, she's muted.
You're muted,
You're
Paul.
It's
There
30
you go.
days from, it's 30 days from whatever tomorrow, from the date that they're mailed. I don't have it off the top of my head.
A couple days, short little month, so probably March 6th about, I think, around then, first Monday of March. Yeah. Okay, that was my
Okay.
announcement.
Any other announcements? Seeing none, our first appointment is Al Packard with CTE. The floor is yours, Al.
Okay. So, as you all well know, I take care of the sewer system for the town. No major issues to report. Couple of keynotes to point out. We've been updating stations as it goes along. The next two that I would like to get done would be Francis Street and West Street. They're both running. Francis Street has a controller that keeps resetting. So I'm having a hard time getting hour meters off, times off it, but everything's running. And then West Street is right down the street, as we know, so I'd like to do those two. We have Mass 2, Mass 3, Electric Ave, and a new setup in Leominster Road. Those have all been done. Tanks were cleaned in November, I think. So those have all been done. The only one that really wasn't done was Electric Ave. I can't get a truck in there. It's just that the place is brutal. I have a hard enough time not getting killed pulling my truck in. We also paved Dana Street. Yay! Was really excited about that. So thank you for that. Everything's pretty much status quo with a couple updates, like I gotta put a parts list together in order to get not so much upgrades, but maintenance parts in stock. We're slowly dwindling, so I want to get some stuff in stock. And I'm really concerned with the 40B. I don't know where you guys are at with that, and that's, out of my wheelhouse. It's just something that's going to have to be discussed down the road as far as upgrading and all that. So I think that's pretty much the gist of it. And as far as the electronic reports, that's my fault. I don't have an admin staff. I am having a hard time with it. I'm not an Excel guy. I'm great with sewer, but not so much a computer. So I have them made out. I'm just having trouble getting them to you without erasing them. So I will work with Barb on that and get those out at ASAP. Today is Tuesday, so I could probably pop in tomorrow. Maybe Barb, you can show me what I'm doing wrong. Okay, any questions?
Yeah, I'll take you up on that offer for questions. The first one is the Electric Ave. You said we can't get a truck in there to clean it out.
Correct.
Is there any other option? How long can it go without getting cleaned out? I mean,
All right.
you know,
Yep, makes sense. It's a good question. So Electric Ave barely runs. It runs 0.2 or 0.3 every other day. There's not a lot of tie in there.
no, I didn't
So,
think so.
yeah, there isn't. Twin City's the same way. Twin City runs a little more than electric, but those two tanks are relatively clean. I do sludge judge them once in a while just to make sure that they are clean. And I'm not worried about it. The biggest problem is, I know it's very difficult to do anything with that portion of land. Because is that Unitil or National Grid that owns power lines? I forget which one it is, but you would have to encroach and push back and then repave to get trucks and stuff in there. And that place has always been a problem. It's always been tight. I've been doing it for so long. I can pull right in and whatever, but if you have to sit on the street for any reason whatsoever, like a truck, you either need a detail or someone's gonna get run over because that hill is right there and nobody pays attention.
Okay. All right. Yes, the next question I have is, you mentioned putting together parts lists for maintenance parts.
Mhm.
You know, in today's world, I'm always concerned about long lead time items. Are you talking about any parts that might have long lead times or,
No,
okay,
no, I'm not. And the station, I mean, short of pumps, which we have a couple in stock, just in case we have the basics, but the stuff I'm talking about is like rebuild kits for compressors. I do need one compressor as a backup, but that's not that big of a deal. As long as I have to rebuild kits, I'm not too worried about it. That's the only thing that would take some time is the actual vacuum pump itself that goes in the pump houses. But the kits, I probably have those in 3
Tom,
days.
you can't do that.
you talking to me, Paula?
I'll mute.
Sorry.
John's
Uh,
always in trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, I do have another question. It has to do with, but I think I'll wait till the end. It has to do with pump capacity on the pump stations you're concerned about,
yes.
for Pondview, but Mike, Dave, any questions, any suggestions?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if I could.
Yes, absolutely.
Al, it's been great seeing you. I hope everything's good and I haven't seen you for a while, so thank
I'm
you.
okay. I'm
Well,
okay.
Thank you for what you do for us.
Well, thank you for the opportunity.
But a couple of things is that I know over the last year or so, we've had management change at the DPW and things have just been going on and on and on. I'm more concerned about our maintenance program that we have. Have you been working with Bill in regards to the maintenance program?
For the most part, most of the maintenance stuff that I do is basically when I'm there. I try to stay within the allotted time. With you guys, and if I run over, I don't. Yeah, I run over. I don't charge any extra for that. It's just, it is what it is.
Oh, no, I understand that. I'm talking about, Bill, have we given Al any programs as far as like cleaning the lines or preventative maintenance that goes back to our maintenance
Yeah, he's-
program? That's above and beyond it's above and beyond your contract, Al.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Yes,
still
I
kind of
put together
involved,
that.
so,
Right.
sorry.
Yep. So I put together the list of streets that I propose we would jet out. And I did run it by Al and he was in agreement. That was a good place to start. So
Mhm.
Well, I think one of my concerns, I got two. One of them was we just went through a mini power failure. How would you assess our generators and operational overall during that power failure, Al? Give us an A, B, C, D.
All right, so to believe it or not, the only generator that I had to run full time, we put 250 hours on it, is West Street. That was the only one.
And how did that perform?
I had some issues with it. But being a generator guy, we weren't down very long. We were
Okay.
maybe down an hour, but other than that, it ran for 250 hours. Didn't even skip a beat.
Was that the only generator in operation during the storm?
Yes.
And I forgot my other question. That was a good one too.
Another one, electric, I think, Al, right?
Yeah, it didn't stay on long though. I checked the hours. It maybe
Okay.
ran for like 25 minutes.
Okay.
It really wasn't bad. Twin City didn't even run. I don't know how that town is fed, but it is all over the place. I mean, some of the stations you would think would go out before the next one does, they don't. So I'm not really sure how that town's wired. It's just funny. So
Okay. The other question I have is, maybe it's not to you, directed more to the DPW director, is I was coming back on Main Street, the center of town. As soon as you pass the center of town heading towards Townsend Harbor Road, there's a sewer cover. It looks like it's pretty messed up. I mean, it's down below the grade. It looks like it just happened. I don't know if you saw that or not, Bill, but right at the center of town, you can't miss it.
I haven't seen it, but I will look at it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's right by the construction of that house,
okay, where is it again? Because I'm going to be out there tomorrow. I'd like to peek at it myself.
right down by where the church and we're reconstructing that building at the center of town. Where the old
Oh,
church-
yeah. Okay, yep. Yep.
that area there. But overall, Al, I thank you for what you do, but I'm very concerned about maintenance. And I think we're gonna have to,
Yeah,
Get a
I know you're a
workshop.
big maintenance guy.
Yeah.
As far as piping and stuff like that, me and Bill have talked and we did do the tank cleanings. I did do an inspection on all the tanks while I was in there. And everything looks decent. I don't see any leakage, nothing like that. So, and the pipes that I thought were really bad, they're actually not. I looked at them, they got plenty of life left in them.
I know you're gonna be getting a lot of questions over the next month or so, and I know John's chopping at the bit to do this, but as far as that 40B coming in, what do we need for our pumps? Can our pumps handle it? Blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
questions.
Does,
coming
John, do you want to talk about this now? Or you want to wait?
Yeah, I guess if that's all right with everyone else. Yeah, I talked to Al a couple weeks ago and he mentioned he thought that Mass Ave 2 and Mass Ave 3 were currently running at capacity. And I just need to understand that a little more. I mean, when a sump pumps run, or when a pump is running at capacity, I assume it's not running 100% of the time. Or is it?
No. So basically, it's not so much. So pumps only do so much.
Right,
Depending on the total dynamic head, which is the length and the height, and then static head, which is where the pump is to get it out of the tank. So they only do so much. That's how they're rated. So if your pump's rated at 20 gallons a minute, and you're coming in at 18, you ain't keeping up. And those pump stations, they're circular tanks. They're like six feet in diameter. But the two specific stations that you're talking about, especially Mass 3, it's only 10 feet deep. You need a tank there. You're gonna need a tank at Mass 2 as well. You're gonna need probably a 12 or a 13,000 gallon tank to hold that flow. Those two pump stations are running quite a bit. Not all the time, but quite a bit. More than I'd like to see them.
okay. Yeah, obviously this would be a big issue with, Pond View comes about. So we obviously have to keep that in mind and,
Well, there's more to it other than that. I mean, they can't go to Fitchburg. There's no way. They're not gonna let them. Because Fitchburg's under an ACO. So, I don't
Right,
know
well-
how they could get to Lemonster. The drawings that I have, depending on which way they're coming out of Beale Street, doesn't make any sense to me.
But I don't want to get too deep into it. I was specifically concerned about those two pump stations.
Yep.
Even if Pondview doesn't go in, it looks like those two stations are something we need to be concerned about.
I think down the road, yes. I think residential, if you were doing another, what do they do? 110 gallons per bedroom now? Is that what they base it on? Or is it more than that now?
No, it's-
Uh, What is it?
yeah, no, you're right, it is.
Okay,
I don't
so
buy
I
it.
mean, I think you have enough. You could probably, I don't know how many houses are actually connected to it now, but I mean, you could probably do maybe another 20 residentials, 30 maybe, before we have to really be like, okay, we need bigger pumps and that type of thing.
Okay. All right, thanks, Al. Mike, you have any questions or thoughts?
No, I always appreciate your input, Al. I mean, it's great to see you. I like hearing that we have a couple pumps in stock. We've been trying to keep stuff in inventory because it makes sense instead of
Yes, yes.
have it handy. So if there's anything that you feel that we, should have an inventory that we don't, obviously like they.
I'll
hear
send it
about it.
along. Yep, I'll send it
And,
along.
and as far as the tanks, knowing that this is coming up, we can probably start, at least maybe, planning ahead for it. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, does Dan do tanks? Proctor?
That I'm not sure of.
He may,
I will not.
but I just know you guys have a really good relationship with him, so you
Sure.
can get
Yeah.
those, you get a deal and a half on them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I can ask.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. So if you're gonna do the research, that's what I'd do. But, yeah, I mean, I love working for you guys. You guys have been great to me. So, I mean, whatever I gotta do to make this thing fly for you guys, I'll do. I don't have all the details on it, but I can tell you there's a pretty good substantial upgrade to your system if this goes in. So,
Well, Al, the only thing I gotta tell you, stop drinking coffee, will you?
why?
I see you drinking coffee here. It's almost 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah, okay. I got it. I'm a busy guy. I do everything from my home now, so I'm just floating around.
Yeah, okay. Barb, Paula, Bill, do you have any questions for Al or anything you want to add to this?
Can anybody hear me?
Yay.
Yay!
Oh, you did it!
Hey,
Yeah.
I just
That's what
thought
I'm
I'd give
talking
it a
about.
try.
So have
Very
you have you
cool.
been
Al.
listening, Brett?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't have a lot to add, except that, appreciate what you bring to the table. And we're glad to have you.
I
Everyone's
appreciate
covered
working for you
everything.
guys. I appreciate the heads up. I don't often get that. You guys are always the first to do it, so I really appreciate it.
Cool.
So,
And we are gonna certainly want to talk further with you regarding the 40B as that progresses.
yeah, I mean, it can be done. It's just not gonna be cheap.
Yeah.
Not gonna be easy.
But thanks
So,
again.
no problem, no problem. So. Are we good?
Yeah, I think
Back to you,
unless
John.
anyone else has any questions for Al, I think we're all set, Al.
All right. If you
Thank
guys
you.
need anything, you know how to get a hold of me and I'll continue to do what I'm doing.
Okay, great. Thank
All right,
you.
guys.
care, Al.
Take care. Thank you. All
Thank you, Al.
right, no
Thanks,
problem.
Al.
See you guys
Bye,
later.
Al.
All right, the next two items on the agenda are the budget preparation and policy updates. I think obviously both of those have the potential to be pretty long. And I'm not sure there's a lot that we could discuss about budget tonight. We might have to set up a workshop for that, or maybe a workshop for the policy updates. I'd kind of like to get the input from you guys about that. mean, I think
I-
I'm not really. I know Barbara's been working on the budget and I think you just got it a little bit before the meeting. So again, I don't think there's a lot that we can talk about that tonight. Barbara, remind me, when is that due? Did we lose Barbara?
She's on
Um,
mute.
I'm
There
there.
we go.
It is, I'm just trying to look. Heather is presenting the preliminary budget to the select board the week of 2/13, which we usually have a very early draft for her at that point. And our next meeting isn't until the 14th. So it may be wise or possible, if it is possible to try to schedule something for next week, maybe this Tuesday, this month, to try to go over it. And then I can just give her what we have as a draft. And this has happened every year. It's never final for this preliminary, and we barely count because we're an enterprise fund and don't figure into the regular town budget. But she gives us mention at that meeting. And it's always good for her to have something. But we don't present to the FinCom until March 23rd. So there's a good space of time that we have, but the sooner we can get her something, the better. So the sooner we maybe do a workshop, the better.
So, Mike, Brett, Dave, are you guys,
I gave it a quick review. Things are looking pretty good already, but if Barbara feels we should spend some time on that, I think maybe we should consider a meeting next week.
A meeting or a workshop where we can,
Some
Next
kind of
week,
workshop.
next week, or? Did you say you want to have a meeting next week? I'm sorry.
Yeah, the
yeah,
7th, the 7th.
Okay, I probably won't be here for that. I'm sorry. I'll be in Pennsylvania.
okay. You gone for the whole week, Dave?
Yeah, if I get over my COVID, I'll be down in Pennsylvania for the week.
Oh, I didn't know you got COVID.
no.
Yeah.
I wonder who you got it from.
Thank you, Lunenburg. Yay.
What about this week?
I can't this week either. I could probably do a Tuesday night from Pennsylvania. I mean, if you're gonna have it at 7 o'clock, but what time? You're gonna have it at 6. I work until 7 on the road. So why don't you schedule it and I'll find out what my schedule is when I get up there.
Okay. Mike,
So I'm kind of in the same boat as Brett. I did glance it over, but I like a printed copy and
right.
get right through it. So, I mean, but if it's just preliminary, if it, that's up to you guys. If there's a workshop, Tuesday, I believe I can make it. I'm not 100%, but I should be able to make it. So,
Okay. I can do the 7th also. So it sounds like perhaps we should schedule that.
Did Dave
7
say
p.m.?
7 o'clock works?
7,
Yeah,
you might be able to do it at 7.
Yeah, 7 will work for me better than 6. That's a Tuesday night, right? Yeah, 7 will be better. But don't hold me up. I mean, if you got a quorum,
Or
Yeah, yeah.
6:30 for John's benefit.
yeah, go 6:30.
No, I can do, I'll do 7. Okay.
Why do
I
you
know,
fall
so-
asleep? Do you fall asleep at 7? I forget.
Well, I typically get up at 2:30 in the morning. So yeah,
My God.
Why do you do that?
it's just, if I had the answer to that, I'd tell you, but it's just the way it works. All right, so let's schedule it for 7. Now, Barbara, remind me, this is going to be a workshop. Does this have to be a posted meeting?
It still does. If there's more than 3 of you, it still is a meeting.
All right, well, it sounds like the potential for more than 3, so go ahead and post that we're having a workshop for the
Right.
budget.
Yeah, and that'll just be be the only item on the, so we can call it a workshop, I think, if it's the only item on the agenda, so.
Okay.
John, you must always get the worm. Early
I,
bird.
I get the worms that the worms feed on. So, all right, the next item on the agenda is the policy updates. Now, has everyone had a chance to go through those?
I did.
I've
Not
been
here.
through.
Okay. Brett, Dave,
I looked at the highlights of them.
Yeah.
I think we wrote most of them, so
right.
I'm comfortable with them.
Everything looks right to me from my point of view.
How about, I mean, there was the one, the new appendix L. Has everyone had a chance to read that?
That's the oil water separator that
Yeah.
Paula put together for us.
I looked through that and I mean, it's kind of like an overlooked thing that we hadn't been really thinking about. So it makes sense. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Okay,
Are we talking about for the car washes?
Car washes and floor drains, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, now-
like the Unitil has one
Right.
in their garage. So, and we
You know,
Yeah, I gotta look at
kind
that.
of slipped through that. We'd never,
But we have though. I mean, we went to Walmart. Are we still following Walmart? Remember we went up there and we found the floor drains in their grease interceptor? Talking to the manager, you remember that, Barb? Jack and I went up there.
I do, but I didn't think there was a tank that involved the sewer for some reason. It's not, it fell off my radar. It wasn't
Okay.
something that Jack was keeping up with.
We were charging a grease trap. fee
Well, that
too.
was when they had McDonald's. They had a
No.
restaurant in there.
No, that was with the oil. I remember talking with the manager on it, with their garage, if you want to go look back at it. Now, it may have fallen off, but I know we did it. And I know we were charging them. I remember talking with the manager about it. So if you can look that up, and that would have been about maybe 8 years ago.
Right. I know I haven't charged for an oil water separator. We were
no,
charging them
no.
for grease trap. I
We're
know,
charging for a grease trap. Because we
Yeah,
didn't. do
when
the,
there was a food establishment. there.
No, we charged them the grease trap policy for their, because we didn't have a set water separator. It was their grease going into a trap. So we
Okay,
charged the
check
grease
it out.
trap. Yeah, if you could.
Yeah, so there's a couple of them. There's Unitil, there's the car wash, and then there's potentially the contractor's yard at 1325 Mass Ave. That was talked about a couple meetings ago. And so because of that discussion, Barbara asked me to look at what other communities do, and that's basically I cobbled what I came up with together from a variety of different towns.
Now Proctor's actually putting in an interceptor, isn't he, on the outside of the building?
Well-
On that one up on Mass Ave.
Well, he didn't want to, but you were kind of pushing that if contractors would want to be able to wash their vehicles, et cetera. So
No,
you also-
he had the interceptor on the drawings. If you look at the drawings, that's what
Right.
caught my eye to it.
okay,
He didn't have the
Okay.
drains, but he had, why would you have an interceptor installed without hooking up the drains? That's why I questioned him on that.
okay.
And also the planning board did too, just so you know, they questioned why he would have an interceptor, but nothing connected to it. So that doesn't make sense.
okay. All right, and I did read through everything, probably twice. And I'm comfortable with all of the changes. Now, Barbara, you got some additional information from Adam today,
Yes,
regarding,
the oil,
Article two.
the laterals ownership.
Right, you want to, can you sort of summarize how that went? Because I know you saw him yesterday too.
Right. He was fine with all the changes that we have sent to him. The only one that he, hold on, I'm just bringing it up. The only one he had any comments on were the part on building sewer laterals, the section 2.2-4, which we just kind of took copied from Fitchburg because it helped deal with the laterals. If we find that someone's laterals are in poor condition, that it puts it back on the owner, which we didn't have anything in our regs about. So Adam had taken a look at what we had put in section 2-4 and he just was concerned about the phrase whether located on public or private property. And so I've removed that and he's pretty happy. He's content with that. And then just changing any reference to city to town, because it was just regarding, Fitchburg is always known as a city and we're always known as a town. So I have made those changes to what you had received, and that's the only, those are the only changes that he requested.
Okay.
So other than that, we're good to go on all the changes
All
as
right,
far as
so-
council is concerned.
Right. And we have to have a public hearing before
They can be accepted.
they can be accepted. So as a commission, do we need to vote on this or we just need to schedule? I think we're all in agreement that the changes as written and including the one that you just told us about from Adam, I think I'm hearing those are all acceptable to us.
Okay.
Um,
What
yeah,
I have
to-
done, yeah, what I've done in the past, if you approve of the changes that have been made, I can note that for the record, and then they will be accepted upon a conclusion of a public hearing.
Okay,
but-
so my hearing from you that we don't need to vote.
I would
Mr.
like you to vote to approve, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I would recommend that we as a commission vote to approve these policies for the record.
Right.
Okay. Anyone want to second that?
I'll second that.
Or what was that a motion? Okay,
I was
Good
wondering,
job, Dave.
yeah, wow, okay.
Any further discussion? Okay, no, let's take a roll call vote. Mike Noltz,
Aye.
Brett Ramsden,
aye,
Dave McDonald.
Aye.
And I for myself. It's good to accept it. So now we have to figure out when we want to have a public hearing for this. And is it a 2-week notice, Barbara?
Oh, good questions. Probably 10 business days.
Okay.
So you've got a meeting on the 7th, you've got a workshop for the 7th, and then a meeting on the 14th. Do you want to, would we have time? I think if we put it in, I need to look at a calendar, but if we could, we've missed the ledgers posting for this week for Friday, so I don't think we would. I think we would have to possibly either have an extra or do it on the 28th.
All right, well, I guess I would say do the 28th unless someone thinks otherwise.
The only question I have is the plan is to have, this doesn't have to go before town meeting. The board can just, the commission can just adopt this, correct?
That is correct.
That's correct.
Okay.
So Bob, didn't we just change that policy at the last town meeting? I thought it's only one public hearing, right?
Correct. We used to have to do 2.
So I thought it was a 2-week notice. I might be wrong.
Yeah,
there.
I think it's 10 days, has to be posted 10 days, so.
Yeah.
28th would be safest, and that will, hopefully will be fairly clear with budgeting by that, but the budget by that point.
Do we have a meeting on the 20th? Yes, okay.
So we could do it either just at the start of the meeting on the 28th.
Okay.
Sound all right?
That sounds fine to me.
Yeah,
Okay.
We all
All
in
right.
agreement there? Okay.
So we still need, oh, it was a vote. Good, never mind. Good. And I'll get that going and posted. Awesome.
Okay. Barbara. You're up next.
Well, this is the just a status on the business manager for my replacement. It has been posted on the website. It's been posted with Indeed since January 11th. And then it just finally got posted on the MMA website, which is usually the more successful place for it to get any people with municipal experience. So we just wanted to do due diligence. We have a very good candidate, but we wanted to make sure we have done interviews with anyone else that is possible. So Bill and I have just been waiting on Julie to get, if we get any applications or resumes through MMA. And Bill, I don't know, we haven't really talked because we've both been nose down, but my intent, once the budget is moving forward, is to start the interviews and get this settled. So that possibly by the 14th, we could have you vote to ratify, and we'll put forward our recommendation and the commission can vote to approve.
Okay.
By the 14th, that's my hope. Bill, if you have any more to add to that?
Nope, I think that's a good plan. It should work.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, and so following that, we have assistant on there. My hope was to get more things done by this point, but so we had assistant on there. We can't move forward on an assistant until we know that there is an opening. So that one just waits until the formal business manager position is settled. So those two items. You have any questions?
I
Nice
don't.
job.
What's that, Dave?
Nice job. Good.
Good.
Okay, grease traps.
Grease trap. Paula, well, we have notified Il Forno of
Yes.
okay,
So we have notified El Forno that they need to have the system pumped by February 18th. And that to provide 48 hours notice prior to pumping so that someone can be available to view it, if scheduling permits. Carlene from El Forno has been in touch with their company, AgriCycle, and I'm still waiting to hear back on the specific date. So I don't have a date yet, but as soon as I do, I will let Bill know, and hopefully he or someone else is available to take a look and make sure. If you guys recall, the concern is that the fog percentage of this establishment has been up on 3 separate pumpings. And they've been notified to go to an 8-week schedule until such time as the commission determines that they can fall back again.
Okay,
also, it is the plan to do an internal inspection as well. But I think we've talked to Al about participating, and Bill and possibly Paula, anybody on the commission as well, but that we want to do that fairly soon too.
Right.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Have we talked with the new restaurant in Lunenburg about their grease traps? Now, that was a change of name. Has that been submitted to the sewer? Remember, we have a policy.
Yes.
New restaurant. Okay. So
Yes.
they've been notified to contact the sewer about their grease trap.
Yes.
Okay. And we have the contact people's name and
Yep.
information. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
if I remember correctly, that's a pretty new external grease trap, right?
Yes.
I think they use the old septic system for the grease trap, if I remember right, the old system septic tank.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
One other thing on grease traps is another certified letter went out today to A&D Crossroads. They were due to be pumped on October 12th. And on December 13th, the commission voted to implement the non-compliance process. And they were due to have information on the pump out to the office by January 26th. We still haven't received it. So I've initiated the non-compliance process of the initial $50 fee and then the fee of $25 per day from November 11th. which is the date they should have submitted the report. So the fine right now is $2,057. And I have notified them that the fine will continue to accumulate until such time as they pay. And I also copied Extapa and Dario's, so that they're aware of the situation. But unfortunately, we haven't had any response to numerous emails and certified mailings, which I know were picked up because I received a signed card back. So, so we've
Now,
initiated the fee process.
Is A&D under the same ownership it was 5 years ago, 6 years ago?
Yep, always the same,
Okay,
same person, same problem.
My,
Okay.
my biggest concern is that we don't know that the system was pumped in October. Because we don't have any record that it was pumped. So, you know, that's my concern at this point, and we haven't had any response from them.
We will be contacting the Board of Health. We've warned them that we'll have to contact the Board of Health, so we'll
Me-
also get them on our side too.
now go ahead, Dave.
When you say the Board of Health, are you talking about the Neshoba Board of Health or our local Board of Health?
Neshoba, they're issued a permit to discharge to the wastewater system that the Board of Health is the only one that can rescind. So if they do that, because, you know, we've told them we have no proof that they're pumping properly.
ahead.
They,
Has anybody noticed that they're open? I went by there, I think one night before I got COVID, and it looked like all the stores were closed. Like around 6 or 7 o'clock. You know what? When I get better, let me go take a drive by. If anybody can take a drive by, see if they're open. There might be something going on up there.
Yeah, it's odd that we haven't had any response at all. And I
Yeah.
did include in the certified letter that went out today, that failure to respond and submit the necessary paperwork will result in us going to the Board of Health. And that's the second time I've put that in the certified mailing. But at this point, you know, we're gonna have to follow through with the Board of Health because we don't know that they're pumping.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if somebody could take a drive by just to see if they're open, that's all. Like I said, I know they weren't open the other night. I don't know why. Just thought it was kind of funny they weren't open.
Can I have a margarita?
Sure.
Maybe I will go by.
Okay. Okay, the first Tuesday reports.
Those are all on time and submitted.
right, for December, we're almost due for the January ones.
Yeah.
I just was unable to report for the first month, for the first meeting, so. Then for anyone of you out there listening, then your December or your January logs are due on the 7th of February. First Tuesday.
Okay. Any questions regarding grease traps? No. The annual report. That's
Jane had
moving
done
along,
her-
right?
Hmm?
I said that's moving along.
It is moving along. Jane had been able to get us a wonderful draft, but both Paul and I have been nose down on other issues. It's not due to the selectmen or the select board's office until the 16th. So we will have it probably for the meeting on the 14th for your review and editing.
Okay. We have 2 sets of minutes, right?
December 13th.
So have enough people here had an opportunity to read the minutes from December 13th and January 10th,
Yeah, very nice job, Zane.
as usual.
Mr. Chair, I put a motion out that we accept the minutes for the 13th. I think I don't know if Brett was here on that one. Was Brett here on that one?
I was just looking, the 13th, I wasn't, and Brett wasn't either.
Okay, so it was just you, me, and Mike. I knew it was one of them. So we have to hold off on that. So
You don't
Well-
really,
we don't really?
no,
Yeah.
it
'Cause
is
we have a
general,
majority here.
sorry.
Is that because we have a majority of that night here, John and I?
There's
No.
no requirement for minutes to be approved by the members that were there. They can be approved by a majority of the body, regardless of whether they were here or not.
Oh, cool.
Well, in that case,
Yeah, well, I put a motion that we approve the minutes on the 13th.
Anyone
I'll second that motion.
Okay, let's take a roll call vote. Let's see, Mike Nault,
Aye.
Brett,
Aye.
Dave,
I,
and I for myself. The minutes from the December 13th, 2022 Sewer Commission meeting are approved. Now let's move on to January 10th. Someone want to make a motion for those?
Brett, you could do it.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from what was that
January
date?
10th.
The
Okay.
10th.
Anyone want to second that?
Second,
Okay, let's take a roll call vote. Mike Nault,
Aye.
Brett,
Aye.
Dave,
aye.
and I for myself. The minutes are accepted. Okay. Now, the next item on the agenda is we want to have a meeting on February 14th, Valentine's Day. Any thoughts from anyone?
Sure. Let's have a meeting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if we say yes, we're gonna get killed by our
I was
wives.
gonna say, I know better than comment on that one.
Wow, that's, hey,
Well, now I could say Brett said yes.
yeah, you know what? Me too.
I'll take the blame.
We can't let our fellow board member down. Yes, we're gonna be here on Valentine's Day.
So am I hearing that you would rather not have one on the 14th?
How do the ladies feel about this?
They're not voting members of the commission.
I'm
Yeah, but
aware
they
of
got-
that.
They got husbands.
I was looking for a little outside input.
Paula was
There's a
trying,
lot going on and I can work through this. How about you, Paula?
Me too.
yeah, it's kind of a lame, it's Valentine's Day.
I thought we
Sorry,
pushed one before, didn't we? I thought at one point we did.
Not a lot of newlyweds in the room.
Yeah, I say have the meeting on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, after 40 years, you get the box of chocolates and you're all set.
We go, life's like a box of chocolates.
Saving
gotta-
me some money.
No, we'll spend it on the weekend. Mr. Chair, I just got a text.
The restaurants will be too busy anyway.
I gotta
Hold
go
on.
to another meeting, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I've lost track on whether you guys are serious or not about whether wanting to have a meeting on the 14th.
No, I would vote that we have a meeting on the 14th.
That we would,
Yes.
okay? Mike,
Well, since everybody seems to want to do it, I guess I have no choice. Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Brett said yes. Barbara and Paula, are either one of you gonna be there?
Yep. We can-
Okay,
A quick
So
one.
the three of us will be available for a date on that Saturday if anyone's around. All right, Mr. Chair, I have to go on a selectman meeting if you can excuse me.
actually, Dave, no,
Okay.
enjoy your selectmen meeting.
Oh, yeah, this has been really fun, guys, really fun.
Don't forget your mask.
No, I'm gonna do it from here. guys
Still your
wanna talk-
mask.
You guys want to join in with me? Let's all go on.
Okay,
Guys,
let's,
Thank you, guys.
let's move this along.
Hey, Dave.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Dave.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Dave.
Good night, Dave. Business manager report.
Could I just back up to, and unfortunately Dave's left, but we did have a discussion about possibly moving the meeting night. Mike
Oh, that's right.
DeVegas and Brett are both coming to the end of their terms this coming May. And one of the reasons Mike is thinking of stepping down is that Tuesday nights are very difficult. So we wanted to just put forward a discussion about Wednesday nights, if that is better. And I think, oh no, and at 6 PM again. The only issue is once we do go back to televised, is that the ZBA would have a, more power, I guess. I don't know what my word is I'm trying to say. On the fourth Wednesday, if it's a fifth Wednesday, we have no issues because the ZBA meets the second and fourth when they have a hearing. They don't always have a hearing, and they're not always on, they wouldn't, or our meeting would not always be the fourth. So if we wanted to consider meeting on Wednesdays at 6, the ZBAs don't start till 7 either, so that's another issue. So
Okay. Well, Brett, would Wednesdays be better for you?
Wednesdays would work just fine.
Mike, how do you feel about Wednesdays versus Tuesdays?
Wednesdays are fine.
Okay, and it would be fine with me. Why don't I talk with Mike DeVakis and see if moving it to Wednesday, he'd have a change of heart about being able to attend or not, or running again.
Okay.
So I'll take that on if that's all right with you guys.
Absolutely.
There
Okay,
you go.
okay, Barb, go ahead.
all right. Pondview, I did talk with Adam yesterday at council hours. The ZBA hearing on the 25th basically gave the attorneys permission to work together to put together a document to submit to the Housing Appeals Committee. They have to meet again or go to the ZBA again next week to have the ZBA approve their submittal, and then it'll go to the HAC. It will not come back from the Housing Appeals Committee for quite some time. Adam was trying to give me some of the timeframes that we could expect to hear anything on. His comment was that things that go to the Housing Authority sometimes take 9 to 12 months for a response. So this is not an urgent, Al's concerns are definitely valid and something to be considered, but this is not something we are going to be acting on in any time soon.
Okay,
So that's on that. Adam is not very encouraging that the HAC is always going to vote on the side of the town, but we won't know until we see it. So, and we can always then appeal, and there's several steps on an appeal. So it could be quite a while before anything has to happen on our system. I'm working with Wright Pierce on the consulting services contract that was approved at the last meeting. Not the contract, but the going out to them for a contract. I did talk with council about the format, so we're working on that. And I've contacted Kevin. He's very happy to hear it, and he and I are working together. I've got one invoice for Fitchburg that has been received for approval for $20,343.69 based on the flow meters that we had provided. So I'm assuming that is acceptable to you. It
yes,
is the amount we expected.
Yeah.
And just one more that came across the desk was the water district did increase their rates, and you probably all are aware as long as you're on public water. But we always just have a minimum charge at 3 stations. So it did go up from $69 to $75 a quarter, just so you know. That's all I had.
okay. The invoice, is that something I need to come in and initial?
No, I will note right on it that it was reviewed at the meeting and approved, and that it matches the amount that we had submitted.
And
Okay.
I said it's fine with me, but Mike, Brett, you all set with the Fitchburg invoice?
I am, yes.
Okay,
In Bob, I trust.
yes.
Thanks, Mike.
Barb and Paula.
So true.
Okay, any action items that either of you or anyone want added to the agenda for upcoming agendas? Nothing specific? Okay. Any public comment from anyone? No public comment? Then I guess it's time to vote for an adjournment.
Let me just review that we will be meeting on the 7th with a budget workshop and then again on the 14th.
Correct.
Okay.
And one quick question, Barb, you do have copies of the budget on hand if I swing through?
Yes,
Thank you.
tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I'm leaving shortly. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, not tonight.
Okay. Good. But yeah,
Okay.
they'll be ready.
Any other comments? No. Mike or Brett, you want to make a motion for an adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And I'll second that.
Okay,
Teamwork.
yeah. So I guess we'll take a roll call vote here. Who's on my screen first? Brett,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
and I for myself. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thank you,
everybody.
everybody.
Good night.
Night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night, all.